Hey guys, thank you for watching the Slat Rock channel. Seriously guys, there's nothing funny about death, but WWE doesn't think that way, especially our Vinnie Mac. WWE penned a few storyline deaths either to create a new storyline or build momentum for a boring one. WWE has been widely criticized for the same. Let's take a look at these 7 tasteless occasions where WWE killed their wrestlers or family members for the sake of storylines. Number 8. The death of Kane's dead girlfriend, Vick. This incident has become synonymous with everything that was wrong in the post-Attitude Era. After the WWF put WCW out of business, WWF officials expected WCW fans to tune in to WWF. When that didn't happen, the WWF came up with some bizarre storylines, none more than Triple H's revelation that years earlier, his opponent Kane was responsible for the death of Vick, a young woman Kane loved. That in itself wasn't disturbing until Triple H accused Kane of having carnal relations with her corpse. Things went from tasteless to disgusting the next week on the October 21st, 2002 Raw, when Triple H ran a video of himself dressed as Kane, mounting the dead body of Vick. Just when things couldn't get any more disgusting, Triple H proclaimed he'd screwed her brains out, and then produced a handful of brains. If Vince McMahon thought the angle was cutting edge, he was wrong. Fans and critics joined in their disgust, and the segment remains the apex of bad booking. Number 7. Death of Paul Bearer in 2004. At the 2004 Great American Bash, The Undertaker faced a unique stipulation in his match: lose or see his longtime manager Paul Bearer encased in cement. The Undertaker won the match, but then proceeded to pull a lever controlling the flow of cement into the glass crypt in which Bearer was partially submerged. The resulting imagery was that of Bearer suffocating to death on cement. Disregarding the fact that this would, medically speaking, be a gruesome and horrific way for anyone to die, it also served to be the first and only time a WWE pay-per-view would end in a simulated act of homicide. Number 6. Death of Big Show's father. Big Boss Man was part of a few angles that involved death. The 1999 feud between the Big Show and the Big Boss Man captivated audiences with an effective and lengthy build-up to the culmination of their feud. It also featured some of the craziest and most insane booking imaginable. At one point, Big Show dropped a garbage dumpster onto Big Boss Man's automobile, a move which Big Show himself acknowledged could have killed Boss Man. You might think that was the most insane, death-themed aspect of this feud. Not a chance. In a vignette that seems almost too horrific to imagine, Big Boss Man surprises the Big Show and his grieving family at the cemetery. First, he delivers a broadcasted eulogy that states, among other things, "Soon your dad will be eaten by worms," and "If I had a son as stupid as you, I'd have wished for cancer so I could die too." Then, Boss Man connects the casket of Big Show's father to his police cruiser and drives away with it. At one point, Big Show jumps onto the casket and is dragged along with it. The writer who came up with this storyline is seriously disgusting. Number 5. Death of Big Boss Man at Wrestlemania. When The Undertaker adopted his Lord of Darkness persona and assembled an army known as the Ministry of Darkness, he set his sights on the McMahon family and taking over the WWF. Vince McMahon pitted his enforcer, the Big Boss Man, against Taker at WrestleMania 15. After destroying the Boss Man, Taker sent a message to Vince when his henchmen, the Brood, Gangrel, Edge, and Christian, made a spectacular entrance from the rafters and lowered a noose. Taker put the noose on Boss Man. As the cage lifted up, the Boss Man appeared to fight for his life. The disgusting angle remains a lowlight in Hell in a Cell history, surpassed only by the aforementioned Kennel from Hell. Number 4. Death of Superstar Billy Graham. Superstar Billy Graham's death was one of the earliest usages of death in WWF, with a Philadelphia-based newspaper even publishing his obituary. Though some fans still believe it was the media's fault, the fact that Gorilla Monsoon wrote the obituary sums up the attitude of WWE, too lazy to intend pun, even during that period. As newspapers were the most reliable source of news in the 70s, people actually bought the story only for him to return with a horrible kung fu gimmick. WWE loves crying wolf and making their fans look like idiots, don't they? Number 3. Death of senior referee Tim White. During the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era, WWE writers and Vince McMahon used suicide angles whenever they wanted. This time it was none other than senior referee Tim White. WWE aired referee Tim White's continual, unsuccessful suicide attempts, with Josh Matthews interviewing him every time he attempted suicide. With his first failed attempt being staged at his bar named the Friendly Tap in Cumberland, he would go on to try rat poison and other such items before shooting the interviewer. No wonder why WWE got a lot of heat for airing such stuff. Number 2. The death of Torrie Wilson's father. Al Wilson fulfilled the dream of red-blooded senior citizens everywhere when he began dating and eventually marrying WWE vixen Dawn Marie. Where things get disgusting is that Dawn Marie was feuding with Al's daughter Torrie Wilson and using poor Al to get back at Torrie. Dawn told Torrie she would call off the wedding if Torrie agreed to sleep with her. After Torrie agreed, Dawn Marie continued the wedding anyways. On January 2nd, 2003, Al and Dawn were married on SmackDown in their underwear. Poor Al discovered the perils of May-December romances when his wedding night led to an untimely demise after too much sex. In true wrestling fashion, Mr. Wilson's funeral turned into a Pier 6 brawl, arguably the least disgusting part of the angle. Number 1. Mr. McMahon's death. Okay guys, most of you might have expected this to top the list, so here we go. On June 11, 2007, following a storyline in which Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon's on-screen character, displayed progressively stranger and uncharacteristic mental tendencies, the McMahon character was seen entering his limousine, which promptly exploded. The explosion allegedly killed Mr. McMahon. His tragic demise was announced via the WWE website, and a memorial episode was scheduled for June 25, 2007. As scripted, the explosion only killed the Mr. McMahon character and not the real Mr. McMahon. Apparently, this minor technicality did not sit well with the real Grim Reaper. A series of horrific and tragic events transpired in which Chris Benoit and his family died via murder-suicide. The tribute to Mr. McMahon was shelved in favor of a tribute to Benoit, as the details surrounding his death had not been made publicly known. This tribute would subsequently be regretted by WWE once it was revealed that Benoit had killed his wife and son before committing suicide. Not surprisingly, this was the last time in this author's memory that the WWE has used death in a scripted storyline. Guys, let us know which storyline was the most disgusting. Please, share your comments below. Don't forget you can hit that subscribe button, get more videos just like this one. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And as always, thanks for watching.